What's up, Data Transformers? This is Bolaji, and welcome to the Data Career Show, the show where we watch analytics engineers, data analysts, and data scientists transform their career. Today, we are talking to a data professional with, let me put on my glasses because I'm very professional today, a data professional with experience in leading e-commerce and FinTech companies in Africa. Highly skilled at creating relevant data products, conducting cohesive data analysis, producing... This is not what people want to hear. I'm getting rid of this script. All right, this is what we want to hear. Today, we're talking to an international law graduate turned data analyst who loves thrillers and procedural dramas, who loves watching cooking shows, specifically MasterChef Australia, strangely specific, and lives vicariously through the contestants. Every episode, she considers enrolling in culinary school. But the kitchen is such a messy place and she hates mess. And oh, did I also mention she hates cooking? What in the world am I? Throw that script out. All right, this lady loves racing cars. She was a sprinter in high school and an artist. If she'd taken herself seriously, she might have been the next one to beat Sha'Carri Richardson at the Olympics. And don't forget, she has the ability to remember long numbers. I think that's called a mnemonist. My goodness, please help me welcome the Business Intelligence Manager at Kuda from Lagos City, Nigeria, Damola Onabanjo. What's up, Damola?
Oh my goodness, that was quite the introduction.
I have to take off my glasses. You ruined my whole script. I'm trying to be professional here, but we have to dig into this. First of all, I love cooking shows. I did discover MasterChef during the pandemic. So Gordon Ramsay, love-hate relationship. Why MasterChef Australia of all places specifically?
I had been through cooking shows on Netflix, and I didn't find anything interesting anymore. And so I went to Amazon Prime. I was looking for something really, really long. So MasterChef Australia, and it's like about 20-something seasons. I was like, okay,
wow,
I'm going to watch this for like the next 2 years.
That's a
I'm
commitment.
very comfortable here. I have found my way.
Oh, that's wild. Those shows are kind of addictive. You see the food. The food is so beautiful. It makes you want to cook.
Yeah.
And then they have the personalities of all these people coming in. Here's one interesting thing. The most compelling contestants I've found on MasterChef, they're not the ones who went to the fancy culinary school and have all the pedigree. It's like, oh, here's my grandma's recipe. And Gordon Ramsay's like, this is really good. So have you envisioned yourself being at culinary school for real?
Yes, I have, to be honest. Like, with each episode I watch, actually, I think about enrolling in culinary school just so that I can one day contest in a show like MasterChef. Like, I can't just sign up to MasterChef. I can't cook a variety of dishes. So I have to come with something.
Well, for someone who went through an international law degree, I'm pretty sure that you can handle the rigor of anything culinary school will throw at you. Let's go ahead and walk through, Damola, your current job titles. You are the Business Intelligence Manager at Kuda, the money app for Africans.
So right now, my crafting the company's business intelligence strategy. Business intelligence team itself is relatively new. The data team has been in existence for almost as long as the company itself has been in existence. The data team, we had to figure ourselves out and then actually dedicate resources and energy and time to different data roles. And that's why the team is new. We learned lessons from when we were just a new data team, right? And because of the lessons we learned, we decided to, approach it from like a very structured angle, which I've been responsible for helping the team discover its purpose. I don't write code as often as I used to, and I really miss that. But once we're done, discovering our purpose and sharing it with the rest of the business, getting the business used to that, then I can go back to the writing code and managing the team also. Right now, our largest customer base is in Nigeria, and so we're bringing banking to your doorstep.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
We are trying to bring banking to like the doorstep of every Nigerian in this case. The average population banking, they're probably going to a physical bank branch to do their banking. But with
Right.
CUDA, you are making financial decisions from the comfort of wherever you are. You have access to a ton of financial products. You're able to, pay bills, get loans, manage your business. Like if you have a business, you create a business account and you're able to pay your staff salary, you're able to track your inventory, just like a ton of financial things that you can do.
This is exciting. For the benefit of the people watching, I live in the United States. I did grow up in Nigeria. I left Nigeria when I was 17 years old. But growing up, we did not have nearly as many banking options or alternatives. Everybody went to a physical bank, and that pretty much was it. Loans were very difficult to come by. So this sounds like the type of product that could be transformative in a place like Nigeria. Now, you've worked in FinTech, Damola. You've worked in healthcare. In fact, it sounds like coming out of law, you did graduate with an international law degree, but then you ended up in a data position in healthcare. How did the two transition? This is very interesting. How did that happen?
So I graduated from uni. I was at home for a while. I wasn't doing anything. I was still collecting allowance from my parents. I wanted to make my own money. So I got a job at an e-commerce company in Nigeria. The purpose of my job then, an internship I did, was to rotate around like different departments, but I settled in information technology.
Okay.
And I was assigned the task of managing the IT inventory. It was very cluttered. There was no structure. I thrive in like a very organized environment. So like I kept looking for ways to make it structured, make it easy to understand. I'll hear like my manager talking then about how they're trying to, ask for money to get like more resources and everything, but like they're not to make a case. We have all this information here. And so I started looking at ways to make data very structured. Back then I was still thinking of going to law school, right? But to me, it was just like an interesting project. Like, okay, this is something nice to fix. I can fix this thing. Why not try? Right? And then I started spreadsheeting using Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets to just make sense of the information I had at hand. And somehow I found myself looking at data analysis. I'm like, okay, what is this? I'm fresh out of international law school. Like, I really don't know much about this subject, but let me do some more research. I found out it was actually profession. I'm like, okay, I can do this. It seems really interesting.
Okay.
Eventually, I gave my manager something and they were able to make a decision. And then I texted my friend, I'm like, I think I'm going to do this. I don't want to go to law school anymore.
That's quite the data origin story. It feels like you were able to take your ability to process large amounts of information, put them into structure, speak the stakeholders' language in trying to organize a business case. Skills that would have ended up helping you in your now data career, Damola. We'd love to understand how you progressed through some of these jobs. After this data analytics internship in the healthcare space, your next position was FinTech, a sales performance analyst at the Jumia Group. How were you able to break into that industry, especially not having a long history of data analytics? Thank you.
The company I worked at, after the internship, I approached one of the managers, right? I'm like, I am trying to put like the skills that I've learned to good use.
Yes.
I feel like in this thing.
Okay.
Do you mind having me? I was very direct because at that point I said I'm no longer going to law school, so I can't just be hanging in the balance. Like I need to do something right.
Wow.
The internship that I did, it was really, really helpful. Like I was able to make changes in that company in healthcare. I'm like, okay, I actually want to do more of this. So I approached him and, I do like a number of assessments and I got a job. So yeah.
This is interesting, and I have to wonder whether it's we're going to talk in a little bit about the personality, your personality, and how it matched up with which data lane you found yourself in. But I think a lot of data professionals might be very good at the technical aspects of the work, but not as comfortable with some of the things that you were able to exhibit early in your career, advocating for yourself, making business cases, making the case for them to create a job for you. Are these things that you always just sort of did naturally, or have you built those skills over time?
I'll tell you both. I have definitely built the skills over time, and I don't know. I think one thing that I've come to understand about like being in the data industry is you have to have passion for the work, right? And I think that drives people for anything actually. Like if you want to excel at something, or if you want to enjoy something that you do, you have to have passion for it. So I think that at the beginning, that was my main driver. Like, okay, I want to do this. I have to pick out ways to make it work for me, make it work for the people that are giving me these opportunities. So yeah, that was the first thing. And over time, I have fine-tuned that passion. I've come to understand the behavior or the trait characteristics basically that you need to, target different angles or different aspects of like the job, right?
Right.
I think recently, so I like in data, I teach like data now to some people and data tutor to some people. And I think recently I was having a conversation with the class, and one of the students said he wants to try his hand at business intelligence. I'm like, well, from what I've noticed, you're very introverted, like recruits. When he's called upon to answer questions in the class, he's away from it a lot of things, like he's not comfortable saying publicly. So I'm like, I don't know. I think that considering that you're very strong technically, you should give like thoughts to data engineering, for instance, because that's like a data role that you don't have to do like a lot of interfacing with business stakeholders, business users basically. So why not like try your hand at that instead of something that involves you actually talking to people? So like over time I've come to understand like different like data roles apart from like the technical abilities, there are also like the soft skills and personalities that are important or are needed like in these different data roles. I found mine definitely, but yeah, for everyone.
Very, very interesting. And I'm learning similarly as well. We have analytics engineers, data analysts, data scientists, and people see, it seems that you do need a combination of the technical skills, but also sometimes it helps if that work suits your personality, if the day-to-day work suits your personality. I know I've worked in positions in the past where I was able to do the technical aspect of the job, but I didn't like the job. And I think sometimes we find ourselves with opportunities that we can do, but they might ultimately not be a great fit for us. So it's fascinating to hear that you're tutoring people and you're starting to see some of these trends.
Yeah, definitely.
Very interesting. Damola, I'd love to get a little bit into the day-to-day of your work. We talked a little bit about it, what you're doing as a business intelligence manager at CUDA. First of all, correct me if I'm wrong, would you consider yourself a data analyst or an analytics engineer? How do you envision your data personality, so to speak?
Wow. Okay, that's a tough one. I mean, my title is business intelligence manager, but I still find myself doing analytics engineering, data analysis, business intelligence engineering. So I don't know if there's a middle ground or a hybrid role, whatever it is. Call it that. Data analytics, business intelligence engineering, analytics again. Yeah,
this is the problem. This is the problem, Damola. You decided you were going to be a sprinter and an artist. Those things do not go together. You decided international law and data analysis. You need to make up your mind in life. You can't be all the things. My God. Okay. Wow. All right. So that's fair, though. That's fair because I think as technology evolves and as the profession evolves, it seems like there tends to be overlap between some of these lanes.
Yes, that's very correct. So in my team, I manage a team of BI engineers across different levels, and with respect to the tech stack, we have people that work, of course, with tools like GBT, and people that primarily work with GBT are considered analytics engineers.
Okay.
But data engineers are also working with GBT because like, they do a lot of data transformation. They do a lot of data transformation. They do a lot of like pipeline management. So there's definitely an overlap. Like, they have the title, but like, they are also doing different things, using different tools that, are primarily used by people in other roles.
Interesting. So with that being said, Damola, I had the privilege of reading a couple of other interviews that you've done in recent months. This lady is all over the place. It's getting to the point where she's going to have just one name, like Beyonce, like Madonna, like Sheila, that one name type recognition. Remember the name Damola? Okay. So I was looking at one of your other interviews, Damola, and you actually were talking about how you first discovered DBT. So I wonder if you mind sharing your DBT origin story.
Okay. So when I newly joined the team at CUDA as a data analyst, one of like the very first big projects to me was to write code, basically come up with like the code base for a data product. My lead then gave me this task, and I was working on it in a different tool, right, in Google BigQuery. I was writing the code there. And then I would ask other people in the team for ideas and stuff, and I would also want to contribute. But they couldn't really do that, right? I would have to write my code and then send it to them, or actually have to like sometimes do the editing in Notepad. Yeah, it wasn't interesting. It was stressful.
Yes.
Having to, go back and forth. And this already existed in the team then, right? It was part of the tech stack, but there was kind of a separation in the team. And so where I was working, we didn't use it, right?
Wow.
But the other people in the team used it. And so they're like, okay, how about you actually move this to this role?
They felt sorry for you.
Like, yeah, basically, they felt sorry for me. They're probably looking at thinking, what is this girl doing?
What is she doing?
Yeah, but my daughter did to GDC, and since then, I haven't stopped choosing it. And I kind of made it so that everyone in the team actually picks it up as a skill. Like, it wasn't limited, or it wasn't restricted to certain people in the team. That's basically how I discovered it. And
really interesting, to the point where you are actually giving presentations and talks on DBT at meetups and things of that nature.
Yeah.
I see you running your own MasterChef show before too long. I think when you set your mind to it, you pick up skills really quickly. This is impressive.
Yeah. I consider myself resilient.
I like that. I appreciate that. So, Damola, we've been hearing all the highlights. This is sounding really good. But we need to get to some of the lowlights. We need to talk about some of the data disasters, right? So, do you have any stories?
Okay, so remember I talked about different parts of the team, people in my team that were doing their own thing, basically. And these people, before I had gotten like me as BBC, they had done a lot of work, right? The entire warehouse, everything that was in our production system, in our semantic area was built in DBT. A lot of data products already existed there. And then they left the team, right? And we were left with a lot of things that we did not understand. And because at the point where these things were built, CUDA was a startup at that point. And so a lot of things that happened on the fly. There wasn't the time or opportunities to do like documentation and all of those things. So models were built, like logic were defined, without documentation, basically. And so one of like the very core models, very important models, was built in DBT, and one day it broke. One day I woke up and it wasn't working. Someone just told me, "Oh, this isn't working." I'm like, "Okay, I'll have a look at it." And I found out that something like a job didn't go on. Right? I'm like, "Okay, I'll just trigger it again, like this to run again." I did that and ran, and looked like the car was okay, but it wasn't okay. It was a disaster. it was about a month long disaster,
Are
right?
you
And
kidding?
yeah, because every day we think that this was a model that incremental, and so every day when data is added to the table, well, this is right, but it was actually
It
wrong.
was actually
And so
wrong.
because I was the oldest member on the team then, like it was new management, new members in the team, I was the one tasked with debugging this model. And
Nice.
so I had to dig through someone else's very complex,
Mm.
very technical code. It was
Oh,
50 models downstream of the main model, and I had to look through all these things. Thankfully, it's in GDT, right? So I had data
mm,
village to help me with understanding how each model connects to the next one.
mm.
And like reverse engineering, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't so bad because I had all these functionalities that I could depend on to
Yes.
walk through step by step. And yeah, that's because it took so long every day. The first day it wasn't fire on the mountain, but like the third day it was fire on the mountain, and everybody was, oh my god, you need to get this. Yeah, it wasn't that
Oh.
kind of
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Damola, I'm interested in how people handle these situations as a human being, right? The stress of all of management, the whole company looking at you saying, we have a data problem, fix it. And you realizing that you don't have an immediate fix. How do you manage to first communicate to your stakeholders that I'm working on it, this is the process, and internally, how do you actually manage the stress of dealing with such a disaster?
first of all, dealing with stakeholders. I mean, it's usually easy when there is many people and the people that understand what is going on.
Mm.
At some point, also, when you're trying to be reasonable with someone, it's taking so long, then people start to lose their patience. That was one of the things that happened then. But at the end of the day, you just
Mm-hmm.
have to be very honest with them. And you have to do a lot of negotiation, right? uh, I say, okay, this can be fixed in 7 days. And my stakeholders
Okay.
that, no, I can't wait 7 days, 5 days. And you're thinking, okay, how do I fix this in 5 days if I don't have an answer for you, or if it's just me working on this, and if there are other labs that I also have to work on.
That's right.
So it's a lot of prioritization.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of honesty. It's a
Mm.
lot of negotiation that goes into the things actually just to manage like people's expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Something I've learned from my current manager is under promise, under deliver. So we say, okay, 2 weeks, in 2 weeks we'll be able to fix this, but internally we know that it will take us less time, but because we
Sure.
want to give ourselves enough time, and
Yes.
we don't want people disappointed in us, then yeah, we do things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
managing my own stress. Wow, I don't know. I just take life as it goes, right? If
Mm.
pressure gets so much for me, I can step away for a moment, take a breather, and just go back. So at the end of the day, I what needs to be done has to be done. Um,
Mm.
and I'm an anxious person, right? Being an anxious person, you don't have results, then you have to sit in anxiety. So the fact that I don't want to sit in anxiety, that's one of my drivers. I mean, it's not very positive, but yeah. Yeah,
I appreciate the honesty, really.
yeah,
And
I
yes.
tend to do like a lot of delegation also.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
recently I introduced like a prioritization metric in my team, and
Mm-hmm.
understanding what is actually urgent, what counts towards a burning building, and what
Yes.
counts towards something basic, right? Your
Right.
stakeholders always think their issues it's a burning building.
Of course.
Yeah, but understanding and grouping things into where they're supposed to be. Okay, this is when this can be delivered. This is the manpower I have at this point. This is the resources I have. These are their different proficiencies. We're able to actually assign priorities to like the different issues that we get at the team. And I've seen
Mm-hmm.
like a bit of success there, so I'm hoping to like do more implementation in our coming sprint.
Wow, this is interesting. It's fun following along as you watch a professional grow in their career, pick up skills, make mistakes, and learn from them. This whole concept of delegation makes me think about the broader data team and about the fact that a lot of us who come up in technical fields often are used to relying on ourselves. I can write the code, I can come up with the algorithm, I can do the models. But with some of the challenges that you face at large companies or complex companies, you might actually need to lean on your team more. I'm interested, Damola, with you leading a team. I'm interested in how you are able to help the team members to complement one another with their strengths so that no single team member has to be good at everything. How do you help your team to work in an optimal fashion?
One thing I've done is assigning mentors, right? Each like senior person in the team has a junior person in the team that they mentor.
Oh, wow.
Then there's also the specialization aspect. While we have people that specialize in different products, because Kuda is a product-led company, we have like different people in the team that specialize in different products. There's also rotating that specialization, right? So no one does something for so long, right? After a while doing something, they move on to another product. Everyone goes around like that, and
I love it. I
don't see like a lot of knowledge hoarding anymore, as opposed to when we first started, and if someone is all sick or on holiday, there's a problem.
That's fascinating. I know that you emphasize building data-driven decision-making cultures at your companies. I love this idea of rotating people's specializations. First, you allow people to specialize in one area for a period of time so they can build expertise, they can become very productive. You have the mentor-mentee relationship. Then you rotate them. And this almost is related to the data disaster you illustrated a few minutes ago, Damola, where the initial employees built something very robust and functional, but they were doing it so quickly, then they left and there was no knowledge sharing. It sounds like at CUDA, you guys have really evolved your data culture beyond that phase.
Yes. There's a lot of knowledge sharing. There's a lot of emphasis on documentation, hosting knowledge sharing sessions. One thing I've picked up from my manager is the importance of actually hearing what everyone knows, right? So because we're a team that is scattered around the world, and we work remotely, when we get together, we're not just getting together to update one another on what we're working on, but hearing, passing across that knowledge, showing show and tell sessions where we try to get others to understand things that we do, and also emphasizing documentation, right? Open documentation, not just models or logic that are defined and locked away in some special place so other people don't have access to that. So everyone has access to the costing documentation, and that has really helped.
I want to push you on that, Damola. I want to push you on that because look, if I'm the only person who knows how to operate this black box, that's my job security, Damola. Like I'm the only one who knows. So now you're saying I should just share all that, and then I can just be switched in or out. How do you take people out of that mentality to where they actually feel comfortable sharing what they've built and what they know?
I think at the end of the day, as much as having domain knowledge helps you secure your job, there's also the proficiency aspect, right? If you're good at your job, if you're dependable, if you're accessible, you're not the one to be discarded easily, right? So I try to emphasize like how important it is to just be good at what you do, so that like you are always thought of, right? And at the end of the day, people are not the same. You will always find those that go the extra mile, and those that are just like comfortable right there. So,
it's true. We know who you are. Those of you hoarding all the knowledge, we see you.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Damola, I want to make sure we can get you out of here on time. This is really interesting. I'd love to get into some of your success stories. Could you share a story of a project that you're proud of?
Okay. I think whenever people ask me this question, they always expect a story of how I built a data product and, save the business like a lot of money or helps like people make really important decisions. But for me, I don't know, the one I always think about is mentoring like people on the team and helping them grow from being data novices to actual data professionals.
Wow.
I've had a couple of people on my team that came to us totally devoid of information, of knowledge. And today, one of them is a mid-level BI engineer. Two of them are like data training, and things like this like make me really happy because a lot of work has gone into building like these people and making them like into the professionals that they are today. And I've contributed to the development of these people. And so yeah, first story, first thing that comes to mind is actually helping like these people achieve their data career dreams.
Man, I love that. I love that. It feels like mentoring is a pretty big part of your journey so far. You've mentored other people. You've instituted mentoring programs at work. Do you have any individuals who served as mentors for you over the past several years?
I've been fortunate enough to have managers that have served as mentors. I can think of two of them right now. My current manager at CUDA and, a manager that I had when I worked at Julia. These people have really instilled knowledge that have helped me along the way. And not just technical knowledge, but also personality related things that have helped, me become the data professional that I am today. For example, prioritization is something I learned from like one of my managers. Also for delegating, trying to like negotiate capacity with like the person I'm delegating to. So yeah, very big part of my journey.
I love that. And are there any particular names that you care to share on the recording, just so people can follow them on LinkedIn and things like that?
Okay, my current manager is called Mondo Lagranzi. He's been very helpful. Also one of my old managers, Moyo Oduobi, also very instrumental like to my day.
We're grateful to those individuals for sure. And as you continue to grow in your career, there are always these ripple effects. You are mentoring other people and passing along knowledge sharing. You're passing along what you've learned, both with technical skills as well as professional skills. All right. Let's go ahead and get Damola out of here. I want to ask one more quick question. What advice, Damola, would you give to someone aspiring? There's someone right now sitting in their parents' home watching MasterChef Australia, wondering, with an international law undergrad degree, wondering what they're going to make of themselves. What advice would you give to someone who is aspiring to progress in their data professional career?
I'll say take like yourself seriously, and make sure that like you have that passion. You have that passion for the work, because working in data can get monotonous and feel routine at some point, and like people tend to lose interest. But if you have, that passion for problem solving, it's me going sometimes knowing that okay, today I might, be able to create something wonderful for someone to use, or I might be able to make someone's life easy. So just making sure that you have that passion. And also picking out mentors, to be honest, because it's a very interesting field, but there is still that knowledge gap of what it takes, apart from the technical skills, what it takes to be a data analyst, data engineer, data scientist. And so seeking out people that already have experience in this field is very helpful, because they can guide you in the right way to go, help you, avoid making mistakes that you don't need to make early on in your career.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's rich. Friends, we've been talking to the Shakari Richardson of data, the international law graduate turned data analyst, the master chef mnemonics of models, Damola Onabanjo, business intelligence manager at Kuda. Damola, thank you for hanging out with us today. This has been fun.
Thank you for having me, Bolaji. This was really interesting. I don't think I stopped smiling or laughing. Well,
yeah. Our job is done. Our job is well done then. Thank you so much. This has been great. We're going to have you back because I think there's much more that we can learn from you. But for now, we'll be following your journey. And folks, you can find her on LinkedIn. You can find her in the DBT community. This lady is all over the place. It's like Madonna, Cher, Shakari, Beyonce. Give her a couple of years, she'll be a household name. Damola Onabanjo, thank you.
Thank you, Bolaji.
All right, folks, we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.
Bye.
This show is brought to you by DBT. DBT is the industry standard for data transformation. It allows your team to prepare data for analysis in a way that's centralized, modular, and entirely open, all inside your cloud data platform. The outcome? Consistently dependable analytics for your organization. Now, the DBT community was built for and by data pros. Come hang out and transform with 70,000 of the brightest analytics engineers, data analysts, and data scientists in the world. With DBT, you transform your data. With the DBT community, you transform your data career.